Hello, Roger. It's always a joy, an immense joy. Which one? It's always a time of, we are here to engage in a meaningful exchange of positive energy and to delve deep into the profound insights of our shared wisdom, including both the knowledge I hold and the incredible experiences belonging to all of you. This profound wisdom, which you often struggle to recognize or fully perceive, truly exists. Every single individual inherently possesses their own unique wisdom, based specifically upon the unique path they have taken, according to what they deeply desire, and according to exactly who they are at this very moment. All of you have an incredibly vast and profound internal archive. That stretches far beyond the reaches of this life, far beyond this planet. And this vast, ancient archive of information is available, but it depends entirely on your personal level of interest and the specific level of knowledge you have at this very moment. But even so, it doesn't stop being an incredibly profound piece of wisdom, even in the event that you're not taking advantage of as much of it as you could. Today, I really want to talk about. This is an incredibly essential and fundamental topic that is absolutely vital for you to understand so you can effectively address and resolve various complex issues that you will inevitably encounter along your personal and professional journey. We talk about this very frequently. And I say we because all spiritual beings of light at one point or another in their journey talk about this specific topic, victimhood, but not exactly in this particular aspect of the issue. But right now, I really want to talk to you about the concept of honesty. And you see, the kind of deep honesty that really matters in life isn't just about carefully checking your change to see if someone accidentally gave you a little bit too much or too little. That's not the kind of honesty I'm talking about. I'm talking about the importance of being honest in the actions you take in your everyday life and routines. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're talking to someone and all of a sudden, the conversation starts to get a little heated. It's a situation where one person tries desperately to convince the other, and in just a few short moments, it turns into a real, intense argument that's quite a bit more aggressive than you expected. When you slowly walk away from a powerful moment like that, your mind sometimes spends many minutes, sometimes long hours, and sometimes even several days just thinking about it, about what the other person said. The specific things they said, the way they actually treated me, and exactly what I felt, those are the things that constantly resurface in my mind rather than questioning myself. What I said, even less so. It's always just about the other person. It's almost as if you hadn't had any influence at all in that entire argument, which we both know isn't true. When we, honestly, you and I both know deep down that what you're saying just isn't true at all. We both clearly understand that it was actually a major joint effort between you and that other person involved in the project. No matter how much you might think it was completely their fault, and more often than not, they probably think it was actually yours. It was a collaborative and shared endeavor. You and they constructed that specific, fleeting moment, whether in a passive way or not. It was created entirely, solely, and quite exclusively from those abstract frequencies, which at some point you released out there into the universe. And right after that, you got into that argument. Whether it was in an active way, you also contributed to that frequency work. But then it also turned into a deeper intellectual process, meaning through the specific words you spoke and through the various actions you took. So, being completely honest with yourself and taking full responsibility for your own part in any situation is actually really important for building trust and moving forward in a healthy way. And once again, it has nothing to do with the other person. It's important for you because actually, this is the most important part. It's about what you did. Because the specific actions you have taken are the very things that are going to resonate in your own field. It will reverberate deeply into the universe, and the universe will respond to you. What the other person said, what they did, what they said to you, that's not going to come back to your field. There's just no way. It was the other person who said it, the other person who did it. That will come back to their own field. So, what's the most important part? It's what will be created in your life soon, on your near future, or in your upcoming futures. Choosing to be completely honest and transparent in the specific way that you choose to interpret this inevitably opens up and reveals an incredibly wide, diverse, and remarkably fruitful path for your future, for you to heal your wounds. Because as long as you keep putting all of your attention on the other person, you stop looking at your own deep wounds, the very ones that created that situation, the ones that created that entire conversation, and the ones that created exactly what you're feeling right now. Because the individual on the other side simply does not happen to have a It is a truly unique and special way to generate something brand new that you do not already have any knowledge of. It is only you who can truly experience that sensation because you already possess it deep inside you. So, if you felt anger, if you felt hatred, if you felt sadness, if you felt offended, humiliated, all of these frequencies and so many other low frequency ones, these frequencies already exist within you. That person just showed you that they exist. They told me directly, look, do you actually see that you are not really there? That patient, can you see how you don't actually know everything? Can you see how you also carry a deep wound? That is exactly what happens within a large collective movement between you and the other person whenever there is a sense of deep discomfort. Because when you are actively arguing with someone or when you are fighting with someone else, there is a specific zone of discomfort that is wide open for both sides involved. So the discomfort you're feeling, the other person is feeling it too. However, what you feel is entirely yours, and what the other person feels is strictly theirs. I know, you were likely taught that the other person is responsible for what they say, and that they are also responsible for what you feel, but that is simply not how it works in reality. They're responsible for what they say, and that's it. You are responsible for what you feel, and what you're feeling right now wasn't actually born in that specific moment. It was simply triggered during that particular moment in time. The system was initially completely offline, but it suddenly came back online the very moment that the person actually started talking to the audience. But it already existed. The only truly effective way for you to resolve this complicated issue is to first begin by being completely honest with yourself. This person came and said this, but what did I feel? I felt this and I felt that. Well, first I created this argument. No matter how complicated it was, I created my part of it, my part of the story. And secondly, I felt all these different frequencies vibrating deep inside of me, all these frequencies of discomfort. I felt them vibrating within me, so they are mine. They don't belong to that person's words. They belong to me. And once again, honesty. It takes the deep honesty to understand that you also offended them, that you also yelled in anger, and that you also communicated directly from your own shadow to the other person's shadow. You communicated this way, from shadow to shadow. Because when you lose your patience, just know that it is actually not simply you, it is your shadow. And it's your shadow that needs to be healed. Because not a single word, absolutely none at all, should ever make you feel deeply irritated, sad, upset, nervous, or completely full of hate. Losing your composure and your cool, no external action and no harsh words should ever make you do that. If it does, it's because there's something deep inside you that's crying out for some help, that's asking to be brought out into the healing light. So there's absolutely no point at all in saying, I acted this way simply because of how the other person was. You acted this way because it was the only way you knew how to handle the situation. I am here to help ease the painful discomfort of your open wounds. It was the only way. So it wasn't the other person. It was your mind's subconscious way of finding an escape route to avoid the intense emotional discomfort and psychological distress that you were feeling in that moment because of that person's hurtful words and because of that person's unjustified actions toward you. So being honest and looking at this in this way, it truly helps you start to set yourself free. Because as long as someone says something and you find yourself getting pulled down into those lower frequencies just because of a single word or an action from someone else, then you are essentially a slave of that wound. You're a slave to those low frequencies. But when you truly start being honest with yourself, you begin to set yourself free because you will no longer be easily moved into those low frequencies just by a simple phrase or a single action. You'll eventually have a profound sense of wisdom and clarity, which is exactly what I began discussing with you earlier today. It is a much deeper, more comprehensive understanding, which is the specific wisdom that recognizes why this is so deeply significant and meaningful in my own life. Is it uncomfortable? For now. But it's important. It's showing me my shams. It's important. It has nothing to do with the other person. They're just the tool I use to see myself. And as you slowly start journeying down this long and winding path, with every single step you take, you begin to feel significantly freer, much calmer, and more deeply at peace with yourself and the world around you. And from there, healing becomes much easier. From that specific frequency point, any type of healing becomes significantly easier because you start to exist on entirely different levels, higher frequency levels of your own consciousness. Honesty extends far beyond the simple concept of morality. Honesty has to be present in every single aspect of our lives. But above all, it should be present in the deeply personal emotional realm,